Views and opinions expressed by the guests of Sasquatch Experience do not necessarily reflect the opinion of the hosts, sponsors, or affiliates of the Sasquatch Experience. As always, listener discretion is advised.
911, what are you reporting?
We got someone or something crawling around out here.
Did you see what it was? Was it a person or an animal or?
I can't tell. All I know is that my central light came on and I just happened to glimpse and see this thing running across the yard. A good-sized man or something that looks like a man. I don't know what it was.
Back in 2005, we set out with one goal: to give voice to the mystery and those who pursue it. Sasquatch Experience Podcast has been your go-to source for serious Bigfoot discussion, where we separate fact from folklore, always grounded in research and respect. We've interviewed eyewitnesses, experts, and skeptics alike, because understanding Bigfoot isn't just about belief, it's about the journey. Nearly 2 decades later, we're still chasing shadows and sharing stories. The search never stopped. Welcome to the Sasquatch Experience.
Jesus Christ, you better... Tia!
Hello?
Get somebody out here.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Sasquatch Experience for Monday, June 27th, 2026. I can't believe that we're already at the end of July, guys. Here we are, this year, almost done. And I don't know about you guys, but I really feel like I've gotten shit done for research this year for my own personal repertoire, I guess. It's
In
been
the negative or the positive?
No, negative.
You got some shit done, or you didn't get shit done.
No,
That's how you phrase it.
Now, listen, Matt and I are more fall-type researchers anyhow, mainly because we were bigger men and enjoy the cooler seasons of fall and winter. But it hasn't been very active in terms of reports coming through either. I mean, we've had some, but not as many as years past. So I think we're kind of on the downward slope again, or, you know, we just have folks that aren't reporting them right now, and that's always a possibility. And that's not everywhere. That's just here in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Our guest tonight, Mike Hartman, good friend. Mike and I met on a podcast someone else was hosting a couple years ago, and we had a lot in common. We really approached the subject in the same way. And I'll tell you, he's hilarious. And when you get him started, he's hard to stop. So Mike comes to us from the Buckeye State. He does a lot of research in Ohio. Not limited to Ohio, but does a lot of research there predominantly. He's also the driving force behind the Bigfoot app right now, which is a pretty unique tool. And we'll let Mike talk about that here in just a little bit. Mike, thanks for joining us tonight, my friend. Good to see you.
No, I just like moving my lips and not making sound. I was just messing with you.
Yeah, like
it's cool to be here. Glad to be here. You guys got a great show, so I'm glad to be here.
Well, we appreciate that. Not everybody agrees, but we've been doing it for 20 years this year, Mike. 20 years of Sasquatch Experience.
Wow.
And, you know, it's funny. We got a comment on our YouTube page that, do you have to use the same 911 call as Sasquatch Chronicles? For the record, listen, we've been around longer, and I've used the 911 call longer. So don't mistake. No one's got a monopoly on it. Hell, we don't even know if it's real. I mean, we know the call is real, but we don't know if the subject is real. So let's just enjoy it for what it is. A fun piece of potential Bigfootery, and we're using it for entertainment purposes. And piss off if you don't like it. That's all I have to say on that respect. I'm a little fired up tonight, guys. Today has not gone as planned. We've dropped 2 co-hosts tonight, as you can see. That's all right, though. Vance's kitchen blew up, and Henry, that's a train. And Henry is under the weather tonight. So above and beyond that, Matt, we did have our executive producer down at the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference this weekend.
Yes, and Brian gave us a play-by-play that entire time. So lots of pictures, lots of great reviews coming from Brian. And then we had so my wife watches a lot of these videos about Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge area, and there's a YouTuber that we follow. His name is Tampa J. And if anyone's ever heard of Tampa J, great guy, and he loves anything having to do with Bigfoot and Sasquatch. I posted it was probably about an hour long video of Tampa J at the conference. Really gave another perspective, because we're getting Brian's perspective, and we know Brian, he's
Right.
an awesome Bigfoot guy. But then hearing from Tampa J, who's basically someone who's just learning about this, it really gave a great perspective. So we look at things that when we do any sort of shows or events, that what he found to be interesting, we could use, through some of the evidence and some of the, just encounters that we've had or we've investigated, that we could incorporate that better for people, again, that aren't coming in as Bigfoot experts, but, as someone coming in off the street with just a general knowledge. It's absolutely perfect. And like I said, having those two perspectives from both Brian and from this guy Tampa J was outstanding.
Absolutely. We're going to get Brian's content posted to our Patreon soon, and then get some sort of way to display it to the viewers here probably on next show. We'll get a little recap put together. I know we're a little bit distant for time, but do want to get that, because it's great to have somebody associated with the show. We had a great time when we went a few years ago. Did we not, Bake? We enjoyed ourselves down in Gatlinburg.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And now they have a Flavortown Market, so we got to go back.
Baker's obsessed with Guy Fieri and
Paula Dean too. I got pictures.
Yeah,
so I can touch her.
Oh God, and that's.
Well, no, I lost. Yeah.
No, okay. And we're going to segue from that into tonight's topic. So, Mike, we're glad you're with us, man. You've been going after Bigfoot in Ohio for how long now? A pretty decent time.
In the field, 30 years. In the books, 40 years.
So you're not a newbie to this field. And I think, regionally, I think you're well known, Mike. And as we get listeners from all over the UK, New Zealand, all over, tell them how you got started into this, Mike. How did you get bought into Bigfoot, and what's kept you going for so long?
So, growing up, when I went to elementary school, ADHD, all that stuff didn't exist. You were either learning disabled or you were normal. And I got put in the learning disabled class. So one day we were going to the library, and we're down there, we're looking around, there's this old cart, and I find a book by John Green called On the Trail of Bigfoot. And I ended up, so I may have not been learning disabled, but I was a delinquent because I stole the book. I checked it out, it never went back.
Mike,
but in the middle of that book.
I did the same thing.
Yeah.
I will also admit we're both delinquents together in that respect.
Yeah, I owe Elmwood Elementary like $80,000 in late fees, probably. I hope they never try to collect. But in the middle of that book was that picture, the famous picture of Patty. And that picture captivated me. It just burned into my memory for some reason, like imprinted on me. And it wasn't so much the photo itself, it was everything around the photo. What is it? What am I looking at? What is it? What does it do? What does it eat? Does it eat? Does it, where does it live? What? So yeah, just the questions at that young age, and then it was later that Dad discovered that Actually, he went to the school and like almost had my principal by the throat and told him he's not learning disabled. You guys are teaching disabled, because if he wants to learn it, he will learn it. You're just not captivating him. Because I could recite every newspaper article. If you asked me about that book, I can tell you what page the sentence was on, and I can complete it for you. I just got so absorbed into it. So for me, it started in the third grade, 83, 84, somewhere in there.
Yeah, and it's something I noticed about you when we were doing that podcast together is you were very like on point with the facts. I think we were talking about the DNA study from Ketchum or something along those lines,
Yes,
and
yep.
you were just you have an acumen to be able to recite that stuff, man, and funnier than hell. Some which I think is great for this field needs a lot more infotainment personalities, not just entertainment,
Yeah.
Mike, but folks that actually know what the hell they're talking about. And that's kind of why I wanted to get you on the show because I think, through the work you're doing with the Bigfoot app, which, people like to use the term groundbreaking. I think it's very relevant in today, especially when we've got a lot of folks that are interested in information at their fingertips as soon as possible. I don't know how many folks. Well, let's talk about the Bigfoot app a little bit. Well, tell us about it and how's it working out?
So it started last year as an idea. Probably since 2000, I was making websites. And back then, you had to put the little HTML, alligator mouth, blah, blah, blah. You had to write the whole damn code. And I was computer illiterate at that time, so my websites were horrible because I'm not a code writer. I was working at McDonald's at the time. My aspirations weren't that high at that period in my life. So, but yeah, I was always building websites. I got better over the years. The programs got better, made it easier. Soon, it got to where you didn't have to write code. You could just tell it what you wanted off of a template. But it was never enough. And then AI hit, and everyone was terrified of AI. I love technology. I like to have tools and shit at my fingers that I can utilize. So that's where last year I got the idea for the Bigfoot app, started building it, started working on it. It's a pay as you go program, and it's website me based, but it's also a lot of AI around it. So I built tools using AI that I would have loved to have had 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. And now I can just tell my computer to build it, and it'll screw up a few times, sure, but you keep at it and it's all in the wording. And boom, it came to be the BigfootApp.com. So right now I'm fighting with Google. Google loves me. They will let my app go to Google Play, but it's the other people it takes 14 testers, and each tester has to stay on for 14 days. And I got the 4 people part down. It's the other 10 that keep dropping the ball and failing me on Google, but eventually it will be on Google Play. But yeah, it's called the BigfootApp.com. It's got a login. It's web based. You can save it to your cell phone just like an app. It works offline better than an app. And it just is the biggest, most comprehensive information base whatever I've ever built in my life, and that's what I was driving for. I wanted it to be half of a library, and the other half I wanted to be tools, field tutorials. So I built things like I worked with the late Dr. Meldrum, and he helped me come up with a footprint math algorithm. And so you can take your footprint, and you can put stuff in it, and it can measure it for you. And after you get that measurement, it then converts it to a guesstimate of the height of the animal based off the length of the print. Dr. Meldrum helped me with that one, so I call it the Meldrum height calculator. And then it's got an actual map, which is my favorite part. It has a map of the entire United States. And you can get on that map, and wherever you can build a public map, or you can build your own private map. So you don't have to share your information if you don't want to, your honey holes, your hot spots, all that, but your basic areas, you can fill on the public map if you want to. But on my map, you can add information, time, weather, you can add a photograph, video, audio recording to it. So when you click on the pin on the map to view it as a user, if there's an audio file associated to it, it shows up below. You can play it, and you can listen to the whoops, the howls. You can zoom in and go into the map, look at the area, see what it was like. You can see what the weather was for that day. You can hit the historical layer and see how it lines up with historical data. And it's more than I could explain in one podcast. It has the Squatchsonian, it has the library, it has, oh God, an entire page dedicated just to information, and then it has my old Bigfoot Ohio app built into it as another button, and it has so much stuff in it. I can't even describe it all in a little bit. I overbuilt it, actually. It's to the point of almost being too much.
I think I'd rather have it overbuilt than underbuilt. And really, from
Yeah.
everything that you said, Mike, I mean that sounds awesome for one in just one general app like that. How long did did you say it took to put everything together?
So I've been working on it since last year. I really started building it around January, and I released it prematurely because I like being able to just go online, look at it from a user standpoint, and say, what would I want on here?
Mm-hmm.
And I hope the wife don't watch this show, because I've got about $3,000 wrapped up in it. And yeah, it's been a lot of building, a lot of work, but I would say like the big push has probably been from January to 2 weeks ago.
I'm on it right now, Mike. I just pulled it up on in the web browser. And folks, you got to get on this, because as he's talking about, well, actually, you know what I'll do, because we
Can
live
you
in
put
the
it up on
world
the
of,
screen, Sean?
I'm going to put it up on the screen.
All right.
Tell me when you can see it.
We got it.
You can see it right there. Just make sure it's the right screen. It's not any kind of adult videos or anything. Not that that I would do that, but just making sure, But, he's got it up here at the top, the Bigfoot app. You got the Hocking Hills Bigfoot Festival coming up, a public appearance at Squatch and Sip, report a sighting. But here, it's where it starts getting to the good stuff. Field weather station, temp, wind speed, rain. And, Mike, this is something that years ago, when I was working with a small group called the Keystone Bigfoot Project, one of the things that was incredibly important to us was being able to log weather conditions, moon conditions, any kind of atmospheric conditions.
So when you put a pin on the map or make a report, if you click on the weather button block, there's like 5 different places it automatically loads the weather to your sighting report, to the information.
Oh, that's good.
And yeah, it automatically opens on your geographical location. As soon as you open the map, you see where you're at on the map, and so you can log your own GPS. But yeah, if you make a report, it logs everything.
But we could go up here and put save current, or like when we're at the location, right, and be able
Yes.
to save, which is
Yes.
pretty awesome.
Mhm.
And folks that don't realize all this stuff is incredibly important, like time of year, time of day. It's
Yeah.
impressive, like it really
Wind
is,
speed.
right?
The one thing I usually, even back in the pen and paper days, I always wrote down what the barometer was that day. For some reason, in my head, I just felt the barometer was important. So,
Well, the barometric pressure is funny. Look how it affects regular animals.
and
You
that's
know,
it. Yeah, because yeah, my background's wildlife biology, even though I went to school for it, but I'm a maintenance guy that plunges toilets for a living. So yeah, but yeah, wildlife biology, that's my background. So, and then I'm also a bow hunter. So the weather affects
Mhm.
everything.
I
Absolutely.
just love all the resources. Go ahead, Matt. I'm just kind of still taking folks on an overview here.
No, and what Mike said is right. I'm a bow hunter also, and it's not just looking at the wind, but it's looking at the pressure, it's looking at the moon phase, it's
Yeah.
looking at so much, and then being able to, and I think that's where I've talked to a couple people and that are are bow hunters, not just your typical rifle hunters, but the bow hunters, because we have to read that terrain differently than somebody just going out for a rifle, sitting up on a stand somewhere. We're looking at the funnels. We're looking at the food cover and the transition areas. So that really does that kind of coincides with what we're doing, because it helps us to track any of these from these sightings. Hey, where is that cover at? Where's this where's this at? And again,
Yeah.
what was the weather? you know
Yeah.
I love.
It's go ahead.
I'm sorry, Mike. I love how it's got a confidence barometer
yeah.
on here. Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's pretty important, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, and you got to put that in yourself. How sure are you that? And some of mine are low, some of mine are high. Some of them are like, I'm not sure, but it was
hmm
odd this happened. But then there's the ones that like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that this was, So yeah, I just like having that on there.
Oh, I do
You
too.
know,
I think
it,
that's phenomenal.
hmm We'll have
Now
to
we're
add some for our area,
Yeah, we're gonna have to get busy.
Mike. We have a honey hole, but we're we don't keep it private. It's such a
okay.
huge expanse of land that we're trying to get people out there, and but it's fairly not the best, environment. It's not general rolling hills. It's
No, it's
yeah,
not.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Eh,
kind of
the-
that's my theory with Wayne National Forest, because it's like three different tracks, but the three together are almost 700,000 acres, and there ain't no way five people could cover that in
mm-hmm,
10 years,
yep,
let
yeah,
alone. So the more people that you can get to go to that big area and start making those pins, the
yes,
easier the story and the quicker the story unfolds.
yes.
I
So
am
where are
learning
you
that our
getting? Oh, I was. If you don't, where? What databases are you using for the reports? Is it
So
just self-reported, or are you getting using like the BFRO Public and some other reports?
No, it's all user reports because there's another map out there, and I won't mention its name, but I hate it because it has dots all over their map, and when you click on them, like 60% of them are dead empty. It's just a pin on the
Sure.
map. It doesn't even say if it was a wood knock, a footprint, a sighting, what. It's literally just a dot on a map. And that stuff like that will just drive me insane. So it actually forces you to put in some information before it'll let you submit your report, but it's all user reported.
Have you seen like a certain amount of reports from a specific area that surprised you when you developed this?
So it's still in its infancy. There's not a lot of people reporting on it yet. I just really haven't got the word out about it a whole lot. So, but I'm interested to see that as it grows. But like right north of me, I don't have any of the reports on there. I think I only have the general location, like the Mantua flap that happened back in March 2025. Everybody saw Bigfoot in Mantua, Ohio. So that, that it's kind of in that same general wheelhouse, but that shocked me a good little bit that happened and was going on.
Because I'm looking at the map, and I mean, I am seeing a good stretch. It's not just Ohio. It looks like you have even down to Tennessee.
Yeah,
With the particular
I've got
sightings.
more people. Yeah, it is growing. It's getting there. It's just not in its boom yet. It's not yet found its glory days, but it will eventually.
What kind of crowd or what kind of person are you looking to get to get on this app? Are you looking for the hardcore researcher, or are you looking for someone that just wants to learn about Bigfoot?
So that's kind of what the app is. It's split down the middle. Like half of it is a learning center for the new individuals to say, hey, maybe if you're nervous to ask this question or whatnot, hopefully you can find it in one of these articles I put out or some of the info. So it's built for the newbie, but it's also built for the people, the seasoned veterans at it. So.
Okay.
And this is
Well,
just an example here. This is a thermal video from the one sighting report that was put up. And we can see that looks like something right here in the image.
Yeah, so that video, I'm the one that shot it, is about 3 minutes long. And there's two other captures that are associated with that video. That there was a little movement down in front, maybe a juvenile, I don't know. And then there's another part of it where, see, I didn't know I was filming that. Like I was standing 15 feet away from my thermal. I just happened to walk over and I was like, I don't remember this black blob being on and then it like moved and I'm like, yeah, that wasn't there earlier. So I went out into the swamp to try to get to where it was. And I ended up over knee deep water. It was cold. It was like October. And when I got to the grass that it stood up out of, I've been through it now, is about 2 feet over top of my head.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a crazy night for sure. My
And where
car
was
hates me tonight.
where was that at? And Sean, can you bring that map up again?
Yes, sir.
So that was just a little north of Wooster, Ohio. What is it called? Funk Bottoms.
So I'm not from Ohio. I'm not super familiar with it, but how far is that from Salt Fork?
So it's about 15 to 20 minutes north of Mohican State Park. So it
Okay.
would be about an hour and a half north west. Well, no, almost dead north of Salt. Well, northwest of Salt Fork, about an hour and a
Okay.
half. Because Mohican's only 15 minutes from me. Salt Fork's 50 minutes. Woodbury's 20 minutes. Kokosin's 20 minutes. I'm kind of like right in the middle of a bunch of really good areas.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
The Mohican watershed is 5 minutes away, and if I walk 30 seconds that way or less, I'll be standing in the middle of the Kokosin River. So,
Oh boy.
yeah.
You
And
are
for
in the
driving,
heart of
yeah.
Bigfoot Buckeye State.
So that's kind of the whole reason my house is a dump. That's the whole reason it was bought, though. It was more location
Mm-hmm.
than it was available, it was for sale, and I said sold before I even saw it because I saw where it was. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's literally smack dab in the middle of everything. That's where I want to be. So
Yeah, that's really interesting. So, out of those areas, which ones do you think are more active?
it seems to be a little more south. It basically the foothills of Appalachia.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote a book about it actually. It's called the Ohio Sasquatch Corridor, and it's like just the strip of sightings that everything seems to happen. If you look at the state of Ohio and you start down on the Ohio River and you make a fish hook and start going
Mm-hmm.
up north, that's kind of the area. It follows the Appalachian foothills.
Okay. Wow.
And
Well,
the
I'm definitely gonna
foothills,
have to check out that app, and we have a an event coming up soon, and we'll definitely try it out, for the event and let people know about it.
I appreciate it.
So,
Well, I've been playing with
moving
it
on
since we
from
pulled it up here, and it's pretty.
yeah,
It's pretty awesome.
so
It's expansive.
yeah. So, what kind of personal experiences, encounters? I mean, obviously that thermal video is pretty impressive, but what other encounters have you had that are kind of key in your research?
So my first one was Salt Fork State Park, and that was I didn't get to see it. It was nighttime, and it was more of a dark, shadowy figure, and that's what both of my sightings were. So I've never got that detail. That's what I'm chasing. But the one that I cited the least, made the biggest impact to me, and it was down at Salt Fork, and I call it the Super Knox night because we got there, we showed up, I put out the fishing rods because back in that day, like Bigfooters weren't really welcome in state parks,
Mm-hmm.
so me and my guys all had our fishing licenses, our fishing
Yep.
rods, hunting lights. So we posed as anglers or hunters that
Mm-hmm.
but the rangers knew why we were there. They
Yep.
simply appreciated what we were doing.
Sure.
So we set up by this creek, and we're just standing there. We just showed up. We're talking. Now let's walk down the road a little bit. And we
Mm-hmm.
made it about 10 steps, and there was a wood knock on this side of the ridge, and then a wood knock on the other side of the ridge, and one further down, or an echo because it was quieter. And we all looked at each other like, was that for us? And it was no sooner did we say that till an old raggedy F-150 came over the hill. And
Oh
I'm like,
wow.
okay, so was that for us or was that a warning that there was a car coming? Stay
Yeah.
away from the road. So we decided that was the spot for the night. That's where we were
Yeah.
going to stay. We had just made dinner, had some bratwurst, and it just cut loose, pouring rain. And
Oh
it's like,
no.
well, it's late in the night. Let's just get in our vehicles. We'll wait it out.
Yeah.
And this started right at dark. I mean,
Oh
right
no.
at dark, and
Yeah.
it was still raining at 1 a.m. I look over, my buddy is dead asleep. Beside me, the wife is dead asleep, and I'm sitting there doing the head bob, barely
Mm-hmm.
keeping awake. And then there was a series of knocks, and it was 17 to 21 wood knocks.
Really?
And it was
Wow.
bam, 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 bam. So now everybody's wide awake. We're looking
Mm-hmm.
around. We know there's not a soul around us. And this was like right when the last raindrop hit the dirt. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it was like the rain just stopped. And everyone's wide awake. And I found it laughable but now because I jumped. My wife hit the door locks and the automatic
Oh
locks,
no.
and they click real loud. So when I heard
Mm-hmm.
that click, I about went out the window. And and I was like, first of all, do you expect them to walk up and open the doors? But and the way the area is set up, no one walked in on us because there was a lake here. No one came in that way. It's a marsh over here. It's a marsh
Mm-hmm.
over there. They could have only came from one direction, and we were in the only parking spot for probably half a mile. So I know no one walked down there because they would have had to fork around us to get up to where I think the knocks were from this tree. I could see the
Mm-hmm.
silhouette out in the swamp, and right beside it was this old, gnarly, raggedy ass stump. And so we sat in the vehicles all night. We're all just looking out the window. Sun starts to come up. We get brave. We all get out. And, the first words out of everybody's mouth was, "What the hell was that?" Because we had never heard anything like that before in our
Yeah.
lives. It's like, wow. And we're talking, and so we walk up the road, we walk down the ridge because it was the only way to see the tree that we all agree the knocks came from. And you can see the back of it, and you can see it's chewed up. It's gnarled up a
Mm-hmm.
little bit through the binoculars. So we walk back down to the car, and it's like, let's try to get close to it. And we marched ourselves out on a point to where we couldn't get any further. And we turn around, we're walking back towards the vehicles, and I froze. And everyone stopped, and they're all looking at me like, what? And I turned around, and I'm looking back, and they're like, what? And I said, where'd the fucking stump go? And they're
Wow.
like, what? And I was like, the stump that was beside that tree is no longer there. So now I'm tromping out in
Mm-hmm.
water because maybe the storm knocked it down. Maybe it got weak. Maybe the water picked up. And I tromp around in the water. I'm looking at this tree. I'm in thick mud. I got ticks crawling up me from going through the
Oh.
marsh grass.
Mm-hmm.
But there was no stump. The stump was gone.
Wow.
And so, yeah, I, I didn't even identify it for what it was, but that one stands out the most to me.
Wow. How long ago did that happen?
That would have been around 2006.
Okay.
And it was early year. I know that much. It was early in the year. It was like April, May.
Okay.
Catfishing was just getting
Yep.
fired up because I had my catfishing poles with me. So, and I love that first part of the year kitty fishing when they're on that feeding frenzy as the water warms up.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was. I mean, to this day, when I drive by that area, every time the hair still stands up in my arms,
Oh wow.
and I can
Yeah.
hear those knocks in my head. I can see I can bring that back to life as if I'm
Yep.
watching it for the first time, and
Wow.
But yeah, that damn walking, disappearing stump, that's what
Oh,
got me. That's
yeah.
what, because I
Wow.
It
thought,
left
you
you stumped.
dumbass. Yeah, it did. It did. And I thought, what kind of Bigfoot researcher mistakes a Bigfoot for a stump and just,
Mm-hmm.
I ain't going to pay attention to that. If I'd have been in the right mind, my eyes would have never left it. I'd have had
Mm-hmm.
cameras on it, flashlights on it, you name it. But the fact that I just look over and I was like, well, I think that came from that tree by that big stump. Yeah, like some
Well,
Bigfoot researcher I am.
in all fairness, Mike, there have been a
Mm-hmm.
lot of reports that are kind of like, I saw this stump and then it stood up, or I saw this stump and then it.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's one not far from me. Actually, it's actually one of the first ones I investigated in the '99, the early 2000s, when these hikers saw what they thought was just a tree stump, and it got up and kind of like that scene from Harry and the Hendersons. Right at the end, it's like a
Right.
chainsaw.
Yeah.
But you don't
I
think
have
about it.
one just. Yeah, I have one just down the road from me like that, and it's from two teenage boys, and they're just out fishing, enjoying the summer evening. Yeah, they're in an area where kids still ride their bikes down the street. People don't lock their doors at night. It's that kind of community. And these kids were, hey guys, how's the fishing going? And oh yeah, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna go walk back through here. I just don't want to bug you guys and whatnot. Like, just make sure you're out of here by dark. And I'm like, what the hell? Why are two kids telling me to be out of here by dark? I was like, are these little shits going to try to mug me or something? And, I turn around, I'm like, why do I need to be out of here by dark? Like, well, that's when the stump walks across the marsh. And I was
Wow.
like,
Huh?
the what does what? And they're like, yeah, the stump, it walks across the marsh at night. And it's like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, I'll be right here with you guys tonight. I'm watching this marsh now. To hell with that hike.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Wow.
but yeah, and they apparently had seen it more than once. I didn't get to view it, but there's many nights I've sat out there since watching.
Now, besides Ohio, have you investigated anywhere else in the region, or outside of the region?
Ojai Mountain, California, New Mexico, Arizona, Texas, Michigan, Vermont, New York, Maine, Massachusetts, Virginia, West Virginia, Tennessee, North Carolina, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Arkansas,
He gets around.
everyone but
He does.
Hawaii and
Yeah.
Alaska. Everyone but
What's your
Hawaii and Alaska.
where's your favorite place to go Sasquatching at, outside of Ohio?
Outside, so I have a property, and it's an unlivable property. They claim it in Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
on the Kentucky border. That's real high on the list. It's kind of a toss up between
Mm-hmm.
there and around Blackwater Falls area,
Okay. Yep.
West Virginia. What's the name of that other park right there? It's just a little bit. It's real
The
close
New
to
Gorge.
the. Well, I've been there too, but
Yep.
it's right by the New Gorge. There's a state
Okay.
park there. It's like 20 minutes down the road. And
Okay.
for the life of me, I can't think.
I
There's a
can't think of it.
grist
Yeah.
mill there. But yeah, I love that park. I
Yeah.
really enjoy that area.
When you've gone out to the other states, have you had activity like you would get in Ohio, like some of the things encounters you had there?
So in Vermont, we had some whoops one night. Probably the noisiest, or I would say the closest out of state I've been was on the North Carolina-Virginia border at the Great Dismal Swamp.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I was in there after hours. They're kind of a strict park, and they're kind of strict
Yes.
about their hours. But there's a canoe trail, and you can camp it for free. You just have to reserve it. It's owned by the Army Corps of Engineers, and you canoe all the way back by Lake Drummond, and there's like a big gazebo with mosquito net around it, and you can primitive camp on it overnight
Oh,
or for however long you reserve it for, and it's completely free. You just have to get there, but the only way to get to it is canoe kayak, and there's water moccasins, or that's like their most northern territory. There's black bears. People say there's alligators.
Mm-hmm.
Some dickweed said there was a bull shark in there one time, and just shit that would kill you, scare you to
Mm-hmm.
death, and make you not want to go. But we went, and the worst thing was I now know why that mosquito net was up, because you had to take IV bags with you to keep your own blood inside of you, because those things were horrible. They would chew your. They could fly away with a small child.
Oh yeah.
They were just crazy mosquitoes. So I now understand why that screen house exists, and it's for you to put your tent in. I wished I'd known that, because my tent was outside of it, and it ended up
Mm-hmm.
going in it in the middle of the night.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that area of the Great Dismal Swamp was just creepy as shit. And there was, you'd hear, like, you'd be sitting there in the pitch dark, and you're away from all the towns. It is black out there. And
Mm-hmm.
down in the swamp, you hear doosh, 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 doosh. And it was like, son of a gun. And, back then I didn't have my thermals. I didn't even have night vision. I
Mm-hmm.
had flashlights and a Polaroid, basically. So, but yeah, it was. If I'd had today's equipment, it would have been way more awesome, and I
Oh
might
yeah.
have captured something, because we heard whoops, knocks, hoops, just all kinds of crazy vocals back there.
you know,
That's awesome.
that's why Matt and I aren't very secretive about our research spot. Because
Mm-hmm.
you have to be half crazy to go out there without any experience, anyhow, in terms of
Right.
navigating just the roads. That's not even the hiking's not the terrible part. It's getting to these areas. You could die driving there. It's
Yeah.
it's not
I
for the faint of
gotcha.
heart. Yeah.
And our friend,
And
our friend Mike Ann just said, and you're going to drive at least an hour for gas.
yeah, that's true. You're
Yeah.
going to drive
Yeah.
at least an hour to get
Jeez.
gas.
Yeah.
Wow.
But to your point, Mike, these remote places, get underserved because of what it takes to get there, and not everybody, even Bigfoot researchers, not everybody wants to put that physical effort or that amount of danger to get out there. Because look, there are things like poisonous snakes or venomous snakes. I'm sorry, not poisonous, venomous snakes.
Right.
And insects and things that can cause you more harm. I mean, you have more of a chance of getting bitten by a mosquito and getting West Nile virus than you do seeing a Bigfoot. So there are real associated dangers with this, and I think enough researchers that do this hardcore like yourself don't get enough credit for going to those underserved areas, because it ain't easy, and it takes a certain level of commitment and dedication to go there. Speaking of flying insects.
It does. And the older I get, I'm still stupid enough to think I could do it again. But it's like I should know better, but I don't, because like 3 years. Yeah, it was 3 years ago. I fell off a cliff, and I went about 20 foot.
You had that video. It was on
Yeah,
video.
yeah. I even got the slow mo version, and in 25 feet, I managed to drop 97 f bombs, and yeah, it was quite the fall. So,
I remember
but I've been
watching
out.
that.
I'm pretty sure it's on the app in the video section. I'm pretty sure under the
Not that
video tab.
not that I ever laugh at anybody's misery, but you got to check that out, folks, because
Yeah.
it is again, as with Mike, very entertaining. Worth the watch.
Well, it just had to be. It was like made for it. That the last stupid ass thing I said was famous last words. And I got to about zzz, and I fell off the cliff.
Oh,
And
no.
I just went, it's like I just finished saying, this is stupid, this is crazy, I'll probably die. Famous last words. And down the hill
Down
I
he
went
went.
like 108 mile an hour. Like, yeah, you said it, dumbass. And yeah. My buddy, I just remember hearing, I'll be right there. And, no, you stay up there. I'll meet you. I'll walk out. I'm fine. I'll be fine.
And you did.
So,
And you did walk out. I mean,
I did. I don't have the picture anymore, but I couldn't walk straight for a week. And my back was black. It wasn't purple. It was black. It was just because that's what stopped me was a tree. If I wouldn't hit that tree and just somersaulted, not a thing. It was just one of those lucky falls, as if falling is unlucky. But if I wouldn't hit a tree, nothing would have happened. It was like a real easy fall, even though it was 20 feet. But no, I hit the only tree in the area, and that's what stopped me at full speed. So you can see the tree shake in the video where I hit it, and it's not a little tree, so yeah.
check it out, folks. Just check out the video. It's worth it. Monetize it.
But
That way
I've
you
been
make a
able
little
to-
money off it,
Yeah.
Now everything on the app is 100% free. I make zero money off of it, but that's the way because at first everyone was like, "Well, you need to charge this. You need to charge a And like the first month I did, and I was like, "That ain't me. That's not who I am." So I deleted all that, and it screwed up the entire app. So then I had to kind of rebuild it real quick and dig into the memory. But yeah, so there's no charge for that app whatsoever. Nothing on it costs money. But that's
pretty
the
noble,
way it has
because-
to be with
Yeah, it
me.
is.
Right. That's a pretty noble gesture because it is expensive to run these things. And, so thanks for providing that to the general public and to the rest of us for using it, because I think it's a great tool. And I think more folks need to contribute to it in terms of information and data. So we can all kind of benefit through each other's work. My favorite feature of it so far is really I call it the credibility meter. That's what we'll call it. The credibility meter.
Okay.
And I like that. I like that a lot. It's because I think even as somebody, when I'm investigating these reports and I go out, and just because I get it, again, I like to tell people, just because I'm nice and I'm friendly doesn't mean I believe it. It means that I'm going to listen and be respectful and gather the information that I can. Sometimes I don't find a lot of merit in it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with putting as the investigator, somebody who looked at it, this is where I think the credibility level is of this. It doesn't mean that people are lying or not telling you the truth. Maybe they saw something else. Maybe there's something rational that we can explain it with that they couldn't at the time they reported it, right? And so that credibility meter is pretty cool. And I think it's, I wish more, I don't want someone to steal it from me now, more people had that, the credibility meter on things.
Right. Yeah,
Because
some
there's
people
reports I've
need
gone
to,
through.
like-
Go ahead, Mike, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, yeah, I was just saying with the credibility meter, I think there's some people need to wear it on a jacket with a slide bar or something, because it seems like.
I want to believe everybody, but we just know that's not realistic and possible. And it doesn't mean that there's anything nefarious to it. It's just sometimes people are mistaken, or there's, a lot of variables that go into it. And, that I don't want that the folks that might be listening that have a report, please don't discourage that from reporting it to us. Just know that credible researchers, when we post something like this and talk about it and put our names on it, that's our credibility attached to it as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Mike,
as far as posting your information, I have it built into the app that there it goes, I think. Yeah, there we go. Damn light. But yeah, it's built into the app that if you post a photo or a video, I have a disclaimer that I don't own your information. It's your information. But the app will put a watermark all the way across it that only stays on the app, but that's so no one can steal your information and,
That's
steal your
yep.
picture and post it later and say, look at this picture. Well, really? Why does it say the Bigfoot app all the way across it and a watermark? So,
yeah.
yeah, I'm not
That's a great
stealing
idea.
your info. I'm just protecting your info for you. And there's a disclaimer right at the top that with anything you post, that disclaimer pops up. So,
Mike, where can folks come listen to you speak or find out more about you?
this year I have the Hocking Hills Bigfoot Festival, August 14th and 15th, and I'm the key speaker. B Mills gave me 2 hours to play with. So, and then after that, I'm up by Lake Erie, and I'll have to find the info, but it's called Squatch and Sip. It's at a winery. And it's like something way out of my realm of something. I've never been to a winery in my life. Now, when I was younger, I bought some bottles of Wild Irish Rose, if that counts. But yeah, I was influenced by Mad Dog and Boone's Farm, not actual like wineries. So, but it'll be up there, and then I'll be at the Mohican Festival, and next year I'll be at the Fayette County ordeal there in Pennsylvania. So.
Okay. Very good. Matt, you got any final questions or anything for Mike before we sign off for the evening?
No, I think we covered
a whole hour.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we covered quite a bit. It was a great hour, and Mike, I'm gonna jump on that app tomorrow, and like I said, Sean and I have a couple decent things we can put on there for our part of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Some of us jumped on it already.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at the top right corner, you can build your own profile, add your own photograph if you want to, so people can. Sometimes a picture with a name is great. So, and you don't have to. The app still works without it.
Mm-hmm.
But Sean, you can turn off your Wi-Fi and the app will still work. Every part of that
I
app
love that.
will still work.
Yeah.
It'll work offline. But I will say this: do not touch the SOS button.
No,
Okay.
no, we know about that one. Yeah.
Yeah, if you go to the Bigfoot backpack, which is your hiking tools, at the bottom there's an SOS button. If you push that, the Coast Guard is coming. Search and rescue is coming. The Sheriff's Department is coming. I've already had one user make that mistake. Do not touch the SOS button unless it is an SOS. So, because they will find you. It goes by satellite, not Wi-Fi.
Well, listen, as somebody, as guys that really preach the safety aspect of that, that's pretty phenomenal. Because sometimes we get into some spots where it may be needed, So that's pretty awesome. Like, good job on this app, man. Seriously, thanks for spending some time and sharing it with us. Definitely have to have you on again when we get the rest of the guys here to have some laughs and maybe fix this internet tonight where it's not so buffering on me. But definitely a great show, guys. Thanks for tuning in, folks. I'm Sean Forker. That's Matt Arner. He's Mike Hartman. Come back and see us again, folks. SasquatchExperience.com. If Henry was here, you know what he'd say. Y'all be good or be good at it. But he's not, so I said it for him. And until next time, keep on squatching, everybody. Good night.
You've been listening to the Sasquatch Experience. Please rate and review wherever this podcast is consumed. For more information, please go to our website, sasquatchexperience.com. Keep on squatching.